Let's go and pick some bands, please, for the love of all that is holy. For game 2, can we see Cleanup Crew come back and make this a best of 3 final is the question. Well, Rival, they have 180 points so far after 3 weeks of play. Coming into the 4th week, if they find it here, that will boost them up to 280. And I'm not 100% certain, but I think that will overtake Barrage based on past performances.
Barrage won the first 2, so they have at least 200 points.
Well, they're on 260 before this week.
Yep.
And so they're at 300 because they got 40 for reaching semis today.
Yeah, this might be the big swing, bud.
So that's 260 plus 40 is 300.
Yeah.
And
Bang,
they're around 180 plus 100, that's 280. So they're still in second if they win here by 20 points difference.
A lot of numbers.
Hey, that's the whole idea of any game, really, is numbers are involved.
I want to say no, but I can't think of anything.
Most games come from binary, Fdot.
Simple plans, simple bands, and Odin is going to be selected as the first pick for the Cleanup Crew.
So
Always a powerful pick.
Rival respect Cleanup Crew's ISIS play in the mid lane from that game, but the problem with that is you leave Odin up, and then you're going to have to pick gods that can either escape or leap over that ring. Or the other option, burst the Odin down before Odin does anything.
Yep, that's always an option.
It's not an easy thing to do, though, especially in the early game.
Odin can also burst you down before you can do anything.
6 seconds on his ring. What big damage in the early game with the bird bomb combination coming out for him as well as a slow. And map changing is the big thing to mention here, because that ring will change the course of the map in terms of where you can and cannot go. And another one that does that is Thor.
Yeah, these guys bring out geometry in their own ways, able to really shut down or create exits depending on which way you're looking at it.
Talking about making an exit, why don't you just rewind time away from where the exit was, back to where it was originally, as Chronos gets locked in as well. So we've seen some different picks coming out from both teams, but Rival definitely sticking with that Zenborne on that Athena.
Yep. Yeah, Zenborne always going to be aggressive, and Athena's one of those characters that go either way. You take a look at a character like Bacchus or Ares, and they're aggressive. You take a look at Sylvanas, and he's defensive along with Geb. Athena, she can go either direction, and Zenborne definitely pedal to the metal.
I do like what Rival did here. Like they took on Cringe Crew game 1. They won game 1, and to be fair, it was in a decent fashion, but they still respect Cleanup Crew enough to ban away the Hades, to ban away the ISIS from last game, because they respected the level of play that came out from them.
And you know, and 50-meter fly was outshined a little bit by Hadderrs Hades. He was able to really change the course of many team fights, and for Cleanup Crew, they had a couple of moments where you thought they might be able to take it. All of those moments were driven by Hades.
Well, we talked about shots fired at different people, and Gnome had Vermana banned away against him, so it's probably going to be the Sun Wukong for him this time round as well. Sun Wukong, not someone we see as often as we used to, but he's still pretty good at being an annoyance on the back line. Major players like Devios love him over in Smite.
I mean, he's definitely able to do his job. He's there to provide a little bit of CC, a decent amount of damage, and a whole lot of annoyance factor.
That's an Odin solo.
Is it?
Up against the Sun Wukong. Interesting. I guess after the Sun Wukong pick, they were using Odin as the flex pick for support of the solo lane. They will be running that solo, which means we won't be seeing it for the early stages of the game. And with that Bastet locked in, well, there's only one god that gets trapped inside that Odin ring. And even she could technically get out with an ultimate.
Athena?
The rest can all get out.
Yep.
Sun Wukong with his ultimate as well, I guess. But to be fair, he could just also go into Ox form and charge around, knocking you all up and keep yourself busy. Bastet will jump away. Athena's the only one that's really got the biggest issue I can see there.
Yeah, Athena might have some trouble. We'll see if the ring is as powerful against Athena as it has shown to be against Sobek. And you were right, Hadderrs will be taking Odin into the short lane over there by himself.
Builds early on. Relics online. You can see Geb and Chronos both going for the sprint. Chronos going for the sprint early is just to deal with Bastet. That's all it's there for. Normally you wouldn't see that picked up first of all, but you're not worried about heavy CC coming out. You need the escapability, and those kitty cats there will slow you down if they connect, and they last that awful long time. And mages don't like them.
Not at all. And I mean, the only hard CC coming out from Team Rival as a unit is the stun out of Sun Wukong, and taunt is pretty damn hard if you ask me. But everybody else, they've got slows, they've got roots, they've got things to annoy you with, but no real incapable of acting as your character. So the sprint, I like a little bit better than the purification that we see on the Thor.
So Cleanup Crew are going to take the right-hand Harpies here early on, and then switch round to the blue buff as well, as the red is going to go down as well on the left-hand side of the back Harpies. Although Bean's taking a lot of poke. Bean. Is Bean okay?
Yeah, he's going to be fine.
Is he? Look at his health. Beanie's not okay.
He's low.
Geb just dipped. Geb's like, peace, I'm going to pull the boards and then take loads of poke from the boards because you're not here to clean them up either. So both of them are going to have to use a health potion on doing these camps at the beginning of the game, which is not what they want. And look how late they are to lane now.
Yeah, they're late to lane. Very sloppy start coming out from cleanup crew.
Zenborne finds, he's got blink as well. If he finds a taunt, that could be a dead Geb because he's only level 1. Because Geb is only level 1 because he didn't get the experience from the back harpies.
And he left. That does put the Hunter a little bit further ahead. I mean, it's definitely a mistake in the action.
And
not as planned.
And you're going to suffer a lot of, pain early on from this lane. With the Salt, the Stellar Burst is going to be able to clear the wave a lot more effectively. Left-hand side, that backflip from Atonement will put him safe. And Cleanup Crew do a good job of controlling them, but Bean is under pressure.
Still pushing down on him. Sprint definitely needed to be used there. Even while not slowed, it needed to find the way out.
Good return of damage there, and Roski did a good job of body blocking that, but into a full minion wave, it's very, very difficult to stand and bang for as long as you'd like. They will clear the minion wave up eventually, but they'll lose a couple of creeps in terms of gold there.
Sure, just a couple, and that's what's going to be the situation here for the long lane, without a doubt. I mean, Soul's able to push really hard.
Right hand side, let's just tune in with Gnome versus Hadderrs because, I would say that, but left hand side just saw a gank attempt on Roski again as we said that. But the Odin versus some Wukong should be a matchup, in fairness, that goes to Odin early just in terms of wave clear.
Right.
Gnome will take a little bit longer to come online, but it doesn't look like he's going the way of Hadderrs here as he's already at half health, regenning once again with those health potions that you bring to lane, but Gnome's doing okay for himself.
Yeah, Gnome is able to clear the wave decently enough. Magical Cudgel. Close Masters will definitely able to control a little bit. Level 5
does get reached first. Gnome's under pressure here. Is the Archer still alive? No. If those Archers were up, I think Gnome would have died. He did just get his ultimate in time. He's going to turn around some damage back. Gnome, not scared to fight. Got to be careful of that bird bomb, though.
Level 5 hit by the Sun Wukong.
Left
Damage
side.
all over the map in the dual lane
Rotation.
as well. Mid laner comes to join the party. Stun and done. Bean gets credit for the Headhunter.
So all that pressure the rival had in the duo lane early turns around and goes against him at the end of the day. Cringe Crew end up picking up the first blood. Surprised by that because the team could have called that a little bit better than they did. They also had a Neith who had a World Weaver actually not available in that mid lane as it's still too early in the game, but they should have called that rotation. If they did, it would have been a different story, and I think Rivals duo lane would be very upset by the start of that game and losing first blood because of it.
Yeah, it just looked like communication breakdown, Hinduman. I think you're on the money there, judging from how the team didn't react.
Now this is a problem here because Hadderrs just used his bird bomb aggressively to poke and didn't land the poke either. Now the World Weaver's coming, shields on cooldown. He will fall down to the World Weaver. And it was not just that, it was the fact that he was not going to be able to clear that wave whatsoever, but Gnome's lazy back him. So Gnome may pay.
Node is going to be able to reach him.
It was
Both
close.
players land just after the fact.
It was close.
Yeah, that's rough.
And that was the big telling point there. Hadderrs is definitely a fighter. That's what I've noticed about him already. Hades plays very aggressive. Same with his Odin. He wants to deal damage. He needs to make sure, though, that he always so farms. Otherwise, it's going to go against him when he comes up against players that are more experienced and know exactly what's more important in these engagements. Yes, poke is good, but farm is even more important.
Exactly. You a lot of times will see the top solo laners ignore each other, use their abilities on the wave, and then
Poke
ignore
afterwards.
everything and just basic attack each other.
What happens is you clear the wave, and then if you've got time, you look at them like, well, I'll poke you now because I've got nothing else to do. That's generally how it should be. And if they've still not cleared their wave, well, it's like, well, I'm going to poke you even more because my minions will help me too.
Fly off the mark there with this time rift. Taking a lot of poke here for the mid lane minions.
Oh,
He might die to
fly.
Roman ranged.
If he died to Roman Rage, I'm done. I'm done. That is not how you kill time fly. No, it's not. So he's going to have to go back to base now, giving up lane pressure. Probably going to lose this wave to the tower, which means his team are going to have to pick it up instead. So going to fall behind on experience over the Neith just because of the decision to tank the minions there. I don't know. I think he tanked the minions to support his team, so his team could make the rotation over, but they were too late. And now they're going to lose the red buff off it as well. Rival objective focused once more.
Yeah, he just didn't want to lose the gold to the tower. Whether or not he wanted to share it, that's up in the air. I know that he just didn't want to lose the gold. You want to tank it, the minions for a little bit, go ahead. When you're level 5, level 6 on the Chronos, you're going to take a lot of damage.
You're going to take a lot of damage whoever you are. It doesn't matter. Look at these minions are abusive. Talking about abusive mid lane. Fly. Poke to half health once again. And if he doesn't rewind, well, that health's going to stay for a long period of time now.
Looks like he's not going to go ahead and use the rewind. It's already been 8 seconds since he was healthy, so now would be a poor choice.
He's going to be very careful now because he wants to stay in lane for the next wave as well. World Weaver is not available, though, for Atonement to look for at the moment. But he's got to play very passive here. If Bastet comes in again and drops cats, it's an awkward position. Though, still in mid lane. Fudge is coming around the back on this Thor, looking to get Neith, who's a pretty good target to pick. I'm surprised he didn't go aggressive there. She's got very low mana.
I'm going to use the back flip. This Thor skin, man.
It's awesome.
It's cool. But everyone knows that you ulted. The hits onto Athena, not going to be enough. Zenborne down to about half HP.
And he was just trying to hold a minion wave once again for his Hunter coming back, and the Hunter is here, going to get hit by the ultimate Petrify coming out. Wasn't a stun, however, though, and now he's going to use the Disapparate. Bastet is around the back, and they've not spotted it yet. They will once those kiddies turn up.
Well played by the guys on
Medusa.
cleanup crew off of that big stun, but Headhunter and his team with the superior rotation able to get the kill at first. Thor comes crashing down, unable to find an answer.
Didn't find anything there, just out of range from finding the pick, unfortunately. And that's a real disappointment for him. And I feel very, very sorry there, actually, for Beam, because he played that to the best of his ability for surviving, but still got picked up.
Yeah, Headhunter just able to sneak out that kill, winding up with 2 on the side of his squad. 1 for him, 1 for the mid laner.
Yeah, at the moment you can see Thor's getting a bit of an experience lead Fudge here, just because he keeps turning up to the lane after his teammates have died, so he's soaking the experience that they wouldn't have got off those minions. So he's getting himself in a pretty good position. As we're tuning with Hadderrs, who's been forced back multiple times in this lane. He's still got his teleport up though, but you can see that he's starting to lose a little bit more every single time as Fly.
Look at Zenborne.
In a rough position. Fly's dead.
Zenborne puts himself in a spot where it looks like there's virtually no follow-up. Able to go ahead and still find Fly. The rest of the team shows up in the nick of time.
Odin to the rescue, maybe coming out from Hadderrs here with a bird bomb. Good damage onto Hydra.
Well played.
Doesn't have his pounce available. I'm surprised he left the circle there. And Gnome swings around now. As Zenborne's like, guys, I can't get out.
Well played. Very, very well played by Hadderrs.
It was good from Hadderrs, but I think he could have carried on. He could have potentially looked for Bastet there.
Sure.
He was alone, but he's got plenty of damage to go for his Headhunter. Gets deleted by Bean, and that's what I was seeing in this lane matchup. Bean's very, very good in this Medusa.
Yeah, that's 2 kills already. I mean, he's been doing very well, as you said. Taking out the Soul, and Soul has been feeling it. Building into the helmet.
Well, the helmet gives you the physical protection you want,
And
as well as the penetration, as well as some extra power too. So it's nothing to be shocked about as Hydra defend. Sorry, not Hydra.
Odin.
Is it Hadderrs defends his buff against Gnome, just about.
Double stun coming out from Roski to create the space to allow his teammates to go ahead and take out the gold sphere.
This is much better from cleanup crew this time round, though. You saw last game, they weren't objective focused. They were focused on fighting, and instead they're going to get punished for that and lose the gold fury as cleanup crews clean up some of the mistakes they made last game.
I like the attempt there in the solo lane. Now, if you see that, Gnome got very low, didn't elect to use the ultimate, even after he got put into what seemed like lethal range. Needed to save the ult to escape the ring.
But look at this now, Hydra, knowing that Hadderrs has used his ring, going to drop the cats, the World Weaver's going to come through too, ultimates combine, and I am Captain Planet, hopefully, because Hadderrs should fall down here. No, Jingle Bang misses, but the kitty cats, they live forever, and now Hadderrs won't. Or will he? Or will he? Or will he? Or will he?
Oh, Willie. Oh, Willie. Hadderrs gets away, believe it or not, and now Gnome finds himself behind 2 towers.
Got minions though, so he should be okay. No hammer available for Fudge just yet. Maybe Geb can make the impact with the knockup, but now Zenborne turns up just as the Ox form comes to the rescue once again. A series of unfortunate events.
I mean, he just missed.
Yeah, Jingle Bang at the same time as the leap. That was just good leap timing, really, coming out from Hadderrs to escape the danger. Should have fallen down now, but survives the day. That's the power of Odin and that shield he's got.
I mean, he just missed.
He did just miss. Taunt in mid lane does not miss the one to fly. Takes a little bit of poke damage from Atonement, but with Geb coming round, avoided rollout from Atonement there with a very nice backflip at the same time.
Atonement has been so impressive in this game. You heard what I said about Neith in the mid lane. I love Neith in the mid lane However, I feel like when you put her there, you do take a little bit of power away from your mid laner. So I don't like to see the superstar mid laners take the...
You give yourself more control. That's the big key with
Yeah.
Neith here. With a Hunter pick, you generally give yourself more control for the early game, which gives you wave clear, especially when there's no ISIS on board. So you control the camps in the early stages. And that World Weaver being in the middle means the travel time is a little bit less, which can make an impact in these fights.
Which is key. A lot of times you don't see these mid laners using their world. We have seen this both. We have seen this almost on cooldown, and I love it.
And he's
Hinduman.
combining with Hydra very well as well.
Yep.
Hydra and him are linking up very nicely together, which is what you want from your mid laner and jungler to do. So Rival at the moment keeping it at 2-2. They're behind on gold because cleanup crew, they're the ones that have really put the pressure on so far with that Gold Fury and left-hand side.
Nicely played.
Well,
Bean gets
Bean's
hit by
running
the
away
ultimate.
with this lane now. Bean's actually going to be a real big threat for Team Rival to deal with.
Neith Bastet was one of the older combos in Smite. People have been utilizing the ultimate out of Neith for a long time now.
Poor Fly.
No, doesn't even need the ult to take out Fly.
However, Odin down with Thor, looking to combine to find the pick and response. Hadderrs giving chase for Atonement, can't find the in-hand, needs one.
There
Can
it
he
is.
get it? And the back of that as well. Bean makes the rotation and finds another kill onto Fudge, who was very low as well. And you can see that Hydra's just trying to get away from Hadderrs now as he rotates back to the right-hand side and find that Gnome is stolen his blue.
Hydra's been so cheeky this game, just in and out, jump
So
forward,
aggressive.
razor claws.
Yeah, Hydra's done a good work poking in and out
Yeah.
and using it. But go for that Transcendence. It gives you a lot of power, but it causes you a lot of issues as well. As the biggest problem with that in terms of survivability. Yes, it's a lot of damage, but it takes a long time to stack.
Nah.
Well, it depends what you've got. If you've got Neith in mid who wants to stack a Transcendence, if that's not stacked yet, you still need to find stacks yourself. You're sharing camps all day. It's not easy to stack it.
Transcendence, the majority of damage that comes out of Transcendence is not really necessarily the stack, similar to Book of Thoth. Plus, Bastet scales out the wazoo. 100% scaling on all of her abilities.
And that's all well and good, but if you've got no penetration in that build and they build armor, then have it out your wazoo, because I'm just going to stand there and tank you.
Jotun's coming. Jotun's and Titan's Bane are going to be the follow-up items here. You can already see her building into the mace as she heads back to base for the first time in a while. You're going to see the Jotuns. It'll give you 10 penetration, not 11 anymore. And then the
Yeah,
Titans follow-up.
Jotuns would be good for the penetration, but it also gives you cooldown reduction, which you could have looked for earlier in the game. You could have got more cats rotations off, more pounces, more bleeds, and that's where Bastet is so impactful in the early stages, especially against the Chronos.
Yeah, she did the job. 2 assists and a kill on a team with 4 total. I'm totally fine with that. I have no issues with the Bastet build or what's been going on. This is a little bit different,
Bye,
but
Bean.
look at the damage she's able to give. Turn around, not going to find it.
Rest in pepperonis. Just stood overextended, didn't realize what was going on there. Going to get picked on the left-hand side. We've got a bit of a lane switch up coming in here. Gnome has traded out with Headhunter as we get another pause here. So Headhunter and Gnome switching lanes. And I think this is a good call because Bean's struggling over... Bean's winning that lane up against Sol, and Hadderrs is pretty much winning this game against some Wukong for the most part. So why not switch it up? Because Sol can stay at range, use Disapparate to get out of the ring if possible, and at the same time, if you got Breastplate of Valor on Gnome, well, what's he gonna, what's Bean gonna be able to do?
Yeah, and of course, there's also just the factor of the why not?
Why not? Why not?
Really, just why not? Try to do different things. And with the rotation over there, you already see Sun Wukong battling down this tower. He's got a lead. And that's really the most interesting part is the level lead switch. So you want to talk about the matchup between God A and God B. Well, you take a solo lane out of the solo and you put him in the duo. He's got a 2-level lead.
He does have a 2-level lead, but it is a Sol after all. It's going to be hard to pick it off. And when you've got a rotation ability of a whole team, Rival maybe able to pressure cleanup crew even more as the pounce goes in. I love the jump away to avoid the stun coming out from Fly as well.
Knew that it was going to happen. As Chronos is here, but there are 4 members for Rival. They're looking at the tower. Good backflip out of Atonement to avoid the damage.
I want to see Cleanup Crew just go straight for the Gold Fury here. Bean should be transitioning there, so should Fudge. They should be going for the Gold Fury. Instead of worrying about what's going on this right-hand side right now, there should be 3 members, including that Odin, over at that Gold Fury, stealing it right now and forcing them to pay for this transgression of being overextended. Instead, they're looking to fight, and Odin just jumped in, and Odin doesn't have a jump out.
Yeah, the cats have been unleashed onto Odin, jumping forward, looking for the poke. Very good play coming out from our Bastet player here. Now they're on the retreat. Bird Bomb off the mark. Everybody's looking at Zenborne, but he should be fine. Relatively tanky starting up that Urchin.
Ring goes down from Hadderrs, going to zone them away, and I can see what's going on here. You can see Bean has disconnected, unfortunately. It is the scheme of this game, unfortunately, and if you're going to be in a 4v5, it's going to hurt. That's why we didn't see him go for the Gold Fury. Meanwhile, Gnome's going to be able to punish the opportunity, well, abuse the opportunity, I should say. Take the tier 1 tower on the left-hand side. It's a competitive game after all. You try and take everything you can as Thor goes to the sky, looking to defend against these low-health targets.
Ooh, completely off as the backflip from Neith. Strong enough. Zenborne going to taunt out the Zerkers, but still finds a death as Fudge able to get the kill with the basic attack. Brought to you by Athena, honestly.
As this happens as well, Gnome pressuring the tier 2 tower on the left-hand side. You can see Geb's rotated in there to defend.
Oh yeah, go send Geb. Geb's the one that's going to deal with this. Just kidding, though. Gnome able to get the pressure in lane and definitely able to deal with Geb as much as he wants.
So 7-5 at the moment, 15 minutes in the game. Still no sign of being at the moment. I believe Cleanup Crew are out of pauses right now is the big concern. And that's why they've not been able to continue to pause and wait for him to come back. Unfortunately, they do have a limited amount of them. Hadderrs under pressure once again by Headhunter, who's done this lane switch. And this is something I'm very, very pleased that Rival chose to do. Lane switching is an important factor, especially when you're losing lanes. Yeah,
with the huge farm of solo lane now, it's able to really turn things around and really rock the dual lane and turn things on their head. Surrounded is a support for Cleanup Crew. Keep in mind, Bean is still DC'd and Rival going to go ahead and push their advantage. It's 4v5, and now it's 3v5. As Roskies must sit out for half a minute. Everybody else will back. Nobody anywhere near the Gold Fury. Rival will extend their lead as they're already up by about 400.
Hey, Bean's back!
They'll make it a little bit more tangible.
The Gold Fury is back too, though, and it's not anymore. Unfortunate series
2K.
of events in favor of Team Rival here. Credit to Cleanup Crew, though, for continuing to try and play with a man down for that time. But now Bean comes back, watching like the two tier 2 towers are at half health. Gold Fury just falls down. Cleanup Crew, for me, were in control of this game for periods of this game, if not most of the game. But unfortunately, they're now up against it, against Rival, who are in a dominant position and can start working as a team now to start cleaning up more.
Focus in the mid lane. Zenborne with the taunt on the Fudge. Sun's going to find the mark as well. Thor falls down for the count. We're nearing 17 minutes, folks. The kills are tied, but Rival has a slight lead. Bean has had some connection issues, but the pauses are gone. So if somebody DCs, Cleanup Crew cannot cause a timeout in the action.
Well, the good news for Bean, though, he is still level 14 right now, but in mid lane Fly, under pressure, going to get a big old shield coming out from Roski, who's done pretty good work on this Geb, honestly, but now he's been isolated alone. Going to get hit by a Whirlweaver during the rollout, so that's cancelled, and now those kiddies will wreak havoc. Cataclysm Force, run Roski, run, be free! No, nope. Says Sol. Supernova to the rescue. Keep running, Roski, you can be it. You can be my hero, Roski. No, he's gone. He's gone.
Odin's going to jump away as well. He's going to get taunted, and he's going to get absolutely destroyed. Zenborne gets credit for that one. 10 on the dial. And it looks like Rival are starting to spiral out of control. I'm not sure Cleanup Crew can really handle this.
Yeah, it's going to be an awkward position for them now. It's 3,000 gold, but I think the problem has been being DC and has just put them at a disadvantage now. Rival have done what they needed to, and it was a little early for the surrender vote, but I think they'll be upset more than anything else. I guess in your head more than anything else. It's unfortunate.
I mean, you know, it's an online situation. Disconnects are going to happen. A little bit problematic, unfortunately, for Cleanup Crew. They do make it all the way to the finals, which, as we said, that's really the important part here. Of course, you want to wind up being number one, but it is all about the points that you accrue, and by winding up in the finals, they will put a number onto their tack.
And there you can see the semi-finals. Those 4 teams are the ones I'm expecting to potentially see week in, week out in the semi-finals. Atlas have climbed up there, but they've not managed to stay up there is the big talking point. Team BM, Rival, Cleanup Crew, Barrage are your top 4 this week.
I'm looking at 5 salty noodles. So these teams have existed in some way, shape, or form ever since way back when. What was it? 5 Angry Men. 5 Angry Men really started it. That was Pain to Beyond and DJ Pernicus. They combined on a team, and they really started out. And from there, all of these community teams came out. There was
5 Angry Hindus existed for a while. Yeah.
And the 5 Angry Dogs, which was in memory of me.
Shout out to the noodles then, making it that far.
The 5 salty noodles. Good to see the tradition still being carried on.
Now, don't forget, this was the end of Europe for the weekend, but we've still got some action for North America tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see some big matchups there. Envy with a double header, as well as the Xbox console qualifiers over in North America as well. Should be an exciting time.
Yeah, the North American SCL qualifiers have been very exciting. Definitely want to tune in to catch those. But I know there's a lot of SPL fans out there. Doubleheader for Envy, as Hinduman said, and that is what I am personally most excited for. I will be here at 1. You will be here at 1. On behalf of everyone here, the casters, the production crew, everyone, including Becky's, have a wonderful Saturday.
Cheerio.